If you like the sweet science, get ready to talk boxing on the Gloved Fist podcast with top boxing writers Frank Latirzo and Jack Hirsch. Frank, a former amateur boxer out of Philadelphia, writes for NY Fights and can be seen on the Boxing Channel. Jack, an amateur boxer who competed in the New York Golden Gloves, was a 6-term president of the Boxing Writers Association. And now, here's Frank Latirzo and Jack Hirsch.
And we're back. Welcome to Glove Fist. My name is Frank Latirzo, former writer, full-time observer, joined by co-host, 6-term president of the Boxing Writers Association of America, Jack Hirsch. How are you tonight, Jack?
Sports-wise, I can be a lot better, not too good.
Why?
Jets are the only team that has a 0 on their record in the NFL. Everyone is at least won one game except them. And the Yankees are one game away from elimination, but we have some hope, as far as they go. And yeah, so sports-wise, it's kind of lagging a little from your area in Philadelphia. I mean, sports-wise, there's a bit of turmoil, but there might be a bright spot Saturday night. Your guy is fighting Saturday night. He's fighting in Philly.
Boots Ennis is fighting at the Wells Fargo Center against Usama Lima, who I've never seen fight, who I know very little about. And to anyone who's watched this show, you know that I am a big Boots fan, and I see him as possibly the next Terrence Crawford. Now, I have some friends that disagree with that because they think he's avoiding the tough fights. I don't see it that way, but only time will tell. But I think Boots is the goods, Jack. He reminds me of Crawford in so many ways. In fact, he might even be a little quicker-handed and physically bigger.
I mean, I agree with you. Boots has all the talent in the world, but I'm going to be honest about it. I don't like how his career's been going. If you're that good, you force the issue by taking the toughest available fights. And the key word, Frank, are available fights. You can't fight someone who's not going to fight you. So you fight the next best. And Boots doesn't even seem like he's doing that. He's calling out Terrence Crawford when it's apparent that fight isn't going to take place.
Never.
Someone stepped up. Virgil Ortiz stepped up.
That would be the next logical fight.
But he stepped up, Frank. He challenged Boots. He says, I badly want to fight you, Boots. I respect you, but I badly want this fight. Let's get it on. And Boots, this excuse, that excuse. I can't make weight. I'm this, I'm that. I hate to say it.
No, Jack, they're 154. He cannot use the weight excuse. He's a junior middleweight now, and so is Ortiz. And that's the weight that fight will have to happen at. And that is one of the bigger fights in this sport if it gets put together. I can't deny. I'd love to pick a fight with you and argue with you about Boots, but you're right. His actions and the way his career have gone, I'm not involved with the camp. I don't know what's going on. But it does seem like they are dragging their feet. But I'm going to push that aside because that was said about Terrence Crawford, that he wasn't going to fight, couldn't fight anybody and wouldn't fight anybody, but nobody would fight him. That doesn't seem to be the case with Boots. So I'm just going to say this, Jack, on talent and what he brings to the ring, I think he's the best fighter in boxing under 30.
Well, yeah, before you give Boots a top 10 pound-for-pound rating, he's got to do something somewhat substantial, or he's had to compile such a big body of work that you place him in that position. And if I mention Boots and I tell you, Frankie, you ask me, I'm going to be stumped for a moment unless I think carefully. What's the defining moment of Boots' career? Off the top of my head, I can't think of any defining moment. And his body of work hasn't been substantial enough. Now, we judge Boots based on potential. He looks great when he fights. He has tons of potential, but he's the type of guy who is the high draft choice. We take him number 1 overall in the draft, but then he's got to do it on the field. I don't want to hear the potential, what he can do. You know, Boots reminds me of Frank, a football player. You invite him to the combines and he looks sensational and he gets drafted all the way on the top. But if you're that confident in yourself, he should have taken the Virgil Ortiz fight. It was right there to be made. I'm still not sure the reason he hasn't taken it. I'm still not sure. I mean, even
Jack.
my boy, Teofimo Lopez, at one point was calling out Boots at one point. And even though I know you feel Boots would have stopped here within 6 rounds, you said it at the time, your opinion, which you're certainly entitled to. And I'm not saying what would have happened in that fight. That's not the point. Boots should have jumped at that. Tio wants to fight me. Let's make it happen now, because
They'll say he's a weight bully, Jack, and he's picking on a smaller guy.
at least they'll talk about him, Frank. They'll talk about him. He's fighting in Philly. You tell me you're a Philly guy, basically. You might say I'm a Jersey guy. Can I call you a Philly guy?
When it comes to boxing, you can.
When it comes to boxing, you're a Philly guy. You tell me now. You've got decades of experience around the Philly fight circuit. You remember how it was back in the day. Gypsy Joe Harris, Smoking Joe Frazier, Eugene Cyclone Hart, Matthew Saad Muhammad, Benny Briscoe, and on and on. You grew up around that, okay?
Boots is as gifted as any one of those guys, Jack.
But is he having any type of buzz in the city of Philadelphia? Does anyone give a darn he's fighting this Saturday night?
Jack, I would have to say the answer to that is no. But at the same time, if Joe Frazier was in his prime right now, there'd probably be no buzz about him unless he was fighting Ali. That's just the way it is in this town right now. In fact, Philadelphia, since the 60s and 70s, has never really got behind their fighters. It's like Saad should have been a bigger star around here. Hopkins should have been a bigger star around here. And I know they didn't fight here all the time, but they didn't get much publicity. And when you talk about the pound for pound list, Jack, I don't care about that. I go by the eye test. I'm going to read something to you and tell me if it's not a great comparison, but it tells you about a guy, how he's viewed on 2 different ends who end up being great. Some people will tell you that Cassius Marcellus Clay, the fuzzy-cheeked tyro from Louisville, is little more than an overly publicized myth. As soon as he meets a good fighter, they argue, Cassius will get his big mouth slammed down his throat. But others insist that Clay is the best young heavyweight to come along since Joe Louis. Whatever point of view, no one can argue that, 1, he's the most talked about fighter in years. Can't say that about Boots. 2, he has done all that can be expected of him. The youngest of our contenders in waiting, 20-year-old Cassius Clay, stands 6 feet, weighs 199 pounds, and is still growing. If his chin holds up during the coming year, he could very well be the bright future indeed. Okay, that was all based on potential, Jack. Some people thought Clay was a bum. Some people thought he was the next Lewis. I'm going to tell you that I think that Boots is the next big deal. Can I substantiate it on his record? No. But I'm going to go by what I've seen of him and who his peers are at 47, 54, and perhaps 60. I think there's a great chance he can be the standout guy.
I don't disagree with you, and I don't want you coming back to me at a later date if Boots becomes a major star and tell me that I had doubts based on his ability, because I don't have doubts based on his ability. I believe he can get to where you project he's going to get to. I can't quite project that because sometimes with certain fighters, they wait, and the big fight never comes up. It's kind of like their career kind of passes them by. And it came close to happening with Crawford in a certain sense. What happens if the Canelo fight and the Spence fight didn't come for whatever reason? Certain guys are stubborn negotiators, and he got those fights when he was past his mid-30s. Think of that, okay?
I don't think that'll be the case with Boots, Jack, but I mean, I can see that. But I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Give me another fighter under 30. Now look, it's not a deep list. It's not a high bar, but give me a fighter under 30 who you could say, Frank, I would definitely rather have a piece of this guy's future than Boots. There's one guy.
In a way, right?
I'm not sure, Jack, because of his weight class and he's not known in America. I don't think it would be him. I think the only guy where there would be a case, I think Bam Rodriguez is in the conversation, but he's still not quite there. Probably Atama because he's a heavyweight and he's so gifted. And even though he hasn't really been tested, we can tell he has the skills. But as far as the overall body of work, there's nobody under 160 who I'd rather have a piece of their future than Boots.
Right, but Boots is fighting Saturday night. Anything can happen, but we got to assume he's going to win by stoppage. Okay, that's going to be the assumption and look good. What's actually next? If he doesn't...
Well, Jack, what's going to happen is he's going to win. He's probably going to look good. If he doesn't, that'll be a big thing. But he'll win, he'll look good, and then everybody will say what they always say. Who has he fought? Now, I'm looking at his record right now. His last fight was against Stanionis that he won, who was 15-0. We thought that was a good measuring stick. Lima is 14-1. Let's see who he lost to. He lost to Aaron McKenna.
Okay, we get the message. I mean, I don't want to say
nobody. I don't recognize one name on his record. So Boots is not going to get anything by beating him.
I think he Boots busy. It's in Philadelphia. Chances are the people will turn out, even though it's not creating a buzz, because it's on a Saturday night. Boots has somewhat of a name in the Philadelphia area, so they should do okay. They've done okay with the live gate before, but I'm talking about the people even outside of Philadelphia. It's not creating any excitement. No one's talking.
Jack, it's not a good night because now is when you get into the meat of the college football schedule. I believe the Phillies are slated to play Saturday night. Now, this town, as you know, is in chaos because over the weekend, Penn State lost to 0-4 UCLA as a 24-point favorite. The Eagles lost to the Broncos, their first loss in 287 games. And the Phillies lost Saturday night to the Dodgers in Philly. So this town they need something. I think they'll get it tonight. I think the Phillies will beat the Dodgers tonight and win the series. But it's going to be a little hard for Boots to drum up a lot of interest.
Dodgers will win the series, but we're not really on baseball per se. But I understand where you're coming from with the other.
The Dodgers will not win the series, so I'm not going to let you sneak that by. But okay.
But that's always with the competition from other sports. You kind of overcome it. I mean, Canelo Crawford was a super fight. Netflix invested a ton of money in it. It was going opposite college football. You know, it's really going opposite.
But that was a huge fight, Jack. And if you notice, the Canelo fight didn't start until 10-1. Yeah. All the college games are over by then.
Yeah, well,
I mean, unless it's USC or Stanford, but yeah, most of them are over by then.
Yeah, I got my ballot for the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Okay, I'm a voter. I'm opening it up for the first time. I'm not going to read every name, the different categories. Am I going to get every category? There's the women's category. There's the old timers. There's the pioneers. There's the modern category. Okay, I have till October 31st to vote. The criteria, which I know by now, even though I shouldn't say that because it changed a couple of years ago. And to see any new names, the modern category. Okay, the list I'm looking at is the old timers list. But I'll be honest, there's so many names here from the old timers list. We'd really have to sit down and figure this out. I mean,
now only 3 can go in, right, Jack?
What? It wouldn't be a
Oh.
podcast. There's the
Only 3 go in, right?
for the old timer category, we could vote for 5. You're not required to vote for 5, and it's for their last fight was no earlier than 1893 and no later than 1943. So I don't think we want to mess with this category, even with some of these names. Yeah, I study them up a little bit, before sending in the ballot, though. Then there's the non-participant category. There's some interesting names there. I'm going to speak to you about it in a little while. Then there's the observer category. I'm going to ask you your opinion. You'll know a lot of these names. Then this is kind of a hard one, the women's category. And a lot of people don't even know the names of the women on here. And I'll be honest, I don't know all these names here.
I don't either.
On the ballot.
I wouldn't vote. If I was a voter, and I used to be, I wouldn't vote because I don't know. Or I might make a call or two to see if there's anything that's glaring.
Oh, by the way, yeah, now that you mention that, a little over a week ago, great boxing writer Tom Gabasi passed away. And an elite writer, a great guy. He was an expert on women's boxing. He was the expert, so much so that he was inducted into the Women's Hall of Fame as a man because, his contributions, to women boxing. So, we fondly remember Tom.
He was a young man too, Jack, wasn't he? I don't think he was 60 years old, was he?
Yeah, he was 57. Yeah, unfortunately, a heart attack. Great rider, great guy. Okay?
Nice guy.
Nice guy, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to run some of these names by you here. On the modern category, it's basically a yes or no. And if you're wavering, you could say wavering, yes, no, or on the fence. How's that?
I'm going to give you 2 answers, Jack. I'm going to give you what I think, whether they should or should not, and I'm going to tell you whether I think they will.
Arthur Abraham?
I don't think so, but under today's metric,
Frank, we got a lot of names, and if you're going to do commentary on any name, we won't get to cover them. You're going to have to make it short and sweet, unless you feel so strongly about one of the candidates that you have to have your say on them. Then it's okay.
All right, I'm going to go real quick, Jack. Under Frank's Hall of Fame, no. Under the IBF, he has a great shot.
The IBF isn't getting a vote. So that
the International Boxing Hall of Fame.
Yuri Abachekov.
Don't know enough about him to say.
Jorge Arce.
Jorge Arce. He wouldn't make. I don't think he makes mine.
Paulie Ayala.
I think he'll get in.
Not what you think you'll. Okay, not whether you think they're going to vote him in, but do you think would you vote for him to get into the Hall of Fame?
No, Jack, not without going over his record. Off the top of my head, no.
Right.
But before we go on, let me just say this. I have a very high bar.
Yeah, well, it's the Hall of Fame. You should. Nigel Benn.
Again, Jack, I don't think so, but I think he makes it.
Bayani Bongo.
No.
Lucian Butte.
No.
Joe Casamayor.
He'll get in.
Sat Chitalda.
Who?
Sat Chitalada. Former
Can't speak.
champ.
Can't speak to him, Jack.
Steve Collins.
I don't think so.
Chris Eubank.
See, there's one. If Ben gets in, Eubank has to get in.
That's going to be interesting to see if one.
Do you agree with that?
That kind of touch at the hip. Who had the better career? Off the top of my head, I think Eubank had a little bit the better career. They fought twice. Eubank stopped him in the first fight. The second fight was a draw. Most people gave a little edge to Ben in that fight. It was kind of resembled the Hearns-Leonard rivalry in a sense. Next, Vernon Forrest.
Excuse me. No.
Astelino Fritas.
Great chance. He was a killer at 126.
You're allowed to vote
Or
up to
130.
five. You're allowed to vote up to five of them amongst the names I'm giving the voters. They can't just vote a bunch of names. They could go five, but they don't have to vote for five. I haven't always used the maximum. I've had times where I could vote for five. I've only voted for two or three. That's me. You know, let's say I feel strongly about it. I said Leo Gomez, Mikey Garcia.
Wow. 4 titles. Excellent fighter. Yes. Hook it in.
I think I'm giving you one now that it's a quick yes. Gennady Golovkin.
Oh, hook it in.
Yeah. Well, you believe he belongs in. Yeah, right?
I have to.
Yeah. Artur Gregorian.
Don't know enough. I'd have to look at his record.
Canelo Hernandez.
All right, I have a lot of thoughts on that. I don't think he belongs to get in, but the fact that they'll put him in because he fought Mayweather, so he'll probably get in.
But Frank, don't assume he's been on the ballot for a lot of years, Hernandez, and hasn't gotten in.
But Jack, because he fought Mayweather and was one of Mayweather's big win, I've noticed that is a theme. They want to get guys in that Mayweather fought so they can build him up.
No, it's not rigged, the voting, Frank. It's not like the
mindset, though. The mindset. It's not rigged. I agree. The mindset.
Well, Hernandez isn't alive now, so it's not like sentimentally he's been campaigning for it. It's the independent voters vote on it.
Jack, how many memes do you see a day where they show all the guys that Mayweather fought that are Hall of Famers? They love putting guys in that he fought. I think he eventually gets in.
Chris John.
No.
Mikhail Kessler.
No.
Santos Lacier.
Can't speak to him.
Rocky Lockridge.
Can't be objective, Jack, because I knew him and I want him to get in. Let me try to think really, really
well, you
objectively.
Can't be objective. That's an honest answer. I'm not asking you. You know, your heart wants him to get in. So
I'm just trying to think. What's the case for him? He won 2 different weight classes. He had some big wins. He had some big losses.
Yeah, he lost to Pedrosa a couple of fights. He did get knocked out by Juan Laporte. He had some big wins. What was his big win?
He got ripped off against Gomez. He should have beat him. That's one of the worst decisions I ever saw. We're afraid of Gomez.
Fight, but I didn't think it was a robbery. I thought
you thought he won, though, right?
I thought he won. Yeah, I thought
it was a terrible decision.
He fell asleep in the later rounds of the fight, but against and he
knocked out Roger Mayweather.
He knocked out Roger Mayweather. That was a big win. Yeah. Okay. Miguel Happy Laura.
I wouldn't put him in, Jack, without looking at his record again.
Henry Mas.
I wouldn't put him in without looking at his record. I don't think so.
Wait. Henry Mas was an Olympic gold medalist, and he only lost 1 fight as a pro to Virgil Hill, and then he beat him 10 years later in the rematch.
And who were his big wins?
I can't. He beat some decent guys. I know, like Iran Barkley, some others. Off the top of my head, I'd have to look back on his record, but I remember Mickey Duff saying if one of his fighters was fighting Henry Mas, he'd have absolutely no clue how to tell his fighter to fight Mas at all, you know?
Well, I know stylistically he presented problems.
Yeah. Darius Mikoszewski.
He's defined by the fight he never had against Roy Jones. No.
Sung Kill Moon.
Couldn't speak to him.
I got to look same here. Omar Navarez.
Action fighter, not quite a Hall of Famer.
Ozubek Nazarov.
Got to look at his record.
He retired early. He fought Joey Gamache in Maine, Gamache's hometown, when Gamache was still good. And he stopped Gamache in a couple of rounds and he retires. So he's one of these guys. Had he decided to have a long career, I don't know why he retired. Maybe he had to. No telling how good he could have been. Swen Aki.
He's undefeated, Jack, but did he beat anybody of note?
Did he deserve any of those decisions he was given to?
You could also say that.
Decision after the other.
No, but being undefeated is going to carry weight.
Frank, this is one right up your alley. Sean Porter.
No.
Gilbert.
I love him. He fought everybody. He was in the fight against everybody except the last 2 rounds against Crawford. But the fact he fought Crawford, Jack, is going to get him some points, and some of the other guys he fought, but I don't quite think he makes it.
No, I was in Las Vegas for that fight when Crawford stopped in the 10th round. Some fights that seem bad for a fighter, they age well. And for Crawford, that was like a bad defeat, getting stopped in the 10th round. He was only down 5 rounds to 4 after 9 rounds. I mean, he fought well, but it didn't seem that way because Crawford knocks him down twice in the 10th. And had he survived, Crawford would have won a lopsided decision by that point. But all of a sudden now, if he had to fight Crawford and he came up with the same type of fight, people would be patting him on the back. Hey, that was a heck of a fight. You pushed Crawford.
Jack, I still give him props for that. But to me, and again, I love Porter, but to me, it looked like Crawford was on cruise control until he got a tongue lashing in the corner that the fight's closer than it should be, and that woke him up.
Okay, Gilberto Roman.
No.
Gianfranco Rossi.
No.
Virafal Sahapram. I've read the name enough times I can hardly say it.
I got to look at his record, Jack. I can't say I can speak to him.
Some interesting names are coming up now. Sammy Serrano.
Outstanding, but not great, no.
Okay, the next 3 names are really interesting. You could add a sentence to anyone if you want. Antonio Tarver.
Wow, let's see. The Johnson fights, the Jones fight. See, Jack, the fact that he stopped Roy Jones in a huge fight, seen by a lot of people with a lot on the line, I think that win is going to get him in. Jack, you look younger on this show, but that Yankee shirt
I just saw the comment.
Has to go.
I'll hear from you, Danny. If the Yankees get eliminated, you could take a dig at me. They're still in it, even though they're down 2-0. Okay.
Danny, it could be worse. It could be a Philly shirt.
Yeah, Danny's a Dodger guy, by the way.
Wow, the 3 teams I root the most for, the 3 teams I root the hardest against in baseball are in order: the Phillies, the Dodgers, and the Yankees.
So you're having to like the playoffs. Okay, wait, let's get the next name. Oh, this name you're going to really like. Meldrick Taylor, a Philly guy.
Oh, boy.
Well, let's put it this way, Frank. You'll agree with me on this. Had he lasted 2 more seconds against Chavez in the first fight, he'd be in the Hall of Fame without a doubt. There wouldn't even be a discussion about it. 2 more seconds.
He did beat some good fighters, though, Jack, before that.
Yeah.
And he was immensely talented. I remember watching him train when he was like a 12-year-old, and he looked like Sugar Ray Robinson. So do I have to pick? Boy, is Meldrick Taylor Hall of Famer? See, Jack, I'm
He
tough.
beat Buddy McGirt. He stopped Buddy McGirt.
He beat the crap out of McGirt. I remember that. Yes, he beat McGirt more convincingly than Whitaker did.
Yeah.
Is that getting him to the Hall of Fame, though? And he beat Aaron Davis, who was a good fighter. I don't know, Jack. It's so close.
If you had the ballot, you would make a decision at that point. I'm not giving you enough time to, make a decision. I'm only asking you what's obvious to you right now. And with Meldrick Taylor, you're kind of on the fence, which is fine.
Right.
It takes time to think about this next one. You might be on the fence, possibly. Fernando Vargas.
I don't think so, Jack. He's known for his losses.
Exactly.
The big fights, Trinidad, De La Hoya.
Exactly. That's the point that I think about. He did beat Winky Wright, but in the major mega fights, he got, stopped.
He lost to Mosley twice.
De La Hoya, he gave them both good fights, but that doesn't get you in the Hall of Fame, giving guys really good fights. It's like I say in sports, I don't want to hear about moral victories in the NFL. If you didn't win the game, you came up short, case closed. I'm sick of these moral victories, okay? And that's the type of fighter Fernando Vargas was. He'd give people De La Hoya, Trinidad, really hard fights, but ultimately he came unglued.
And he barely lost to Mosley.
Yeah.
They were close fights too.
Yeah. Israel Vasquez. I got to tell you a little Israel Vasquez story. He passed away a couple of years ago, Israel Vasquez. But I had the pleasure, Frank, of him sitting next to me the first year I was president of the Boxing Writers Association of America. He flew in from California because he was being honored for being a participant in the Fight of the Year. And the person who was a great guy, I'm not going to embarrass him by saying his name on the air, who had to have all the darn awards. I told him, you double it, you triple check that you have everything, and then you triple check it again. He says, not to worry, everything will be there, blah, blah, blah. He comes over to me during the function to tell me that he forgot Vasquez's award, and Vasquez's award was out of state. So he flies all the way to New York, and I then have to call his manager, and I have to disappoint him that he doesn't have a physical award to take back. And you want to know something? As disappointed as he looked, he was 100% gentleman, a complete gentleman about it. It wasn't like he threw his hand up. I don't believe this. I fly all the way, and you forget the award. I mean, it was inexcusable for the award to have been forgotten. Okay, we did mail it to him, and he did get it. But it was, oh boy, I can't tell you how embarrassed I was. Listen, I've made mistakes like that too. So I don't want to go off on anyone else. I've made my share of errors also. But the point is, I just want to say what a gentleman this guy was, Israel Vasquez. Okay?
That doesn't, Jack, watching the way he fought doesn't surprise me. He's just he's a salt of the earth guy.
Yeah, he had some great fights. And I'm not partial when it comes to him. I might vote for him just, as a homer, whatever. I don't know. I'll see what I'm going to do. Oh, this next name's a little interesting. Wilfredo Vasquez.
Boy, another close call, Jack. I want to say no.
Okay, next one. He's been around a while. Ratanapo Saw Barapin.
I got to look at his record, Jack.
Yeah, this next one, Pansel Teklek Wanjung Kam.
Jack, I don't recollect him. I don't think I saw him fight, so I'm not going to
tell you something, Frank. The last name, and then I'll make the comment. Shinsuke Yamanaka. Now, you'll have to look up his record. My point with all these extra weight classes, Frank, in the past, if I said Charchia Chioni, Walter McGowan, the other flyweights, you'd rip them off. You'd have a really good read on them, but there's so many weight divisions, and so many
Yes.
sanctioning bodies. It's crazy. Okay, that's that. I want to go over some names, got the non-participants. You'll know a lot of these names, whether you vote from the Hall of Fame. Russ Anber, who's a trainer slash cutman.
I got to think about it, Jack. I mean,
Okay, could go
it
either
just
way.
doesn't come off the top of my head.
Right. Rudy Battle, the referee.
I mean, he did a lot of big fights. He'll get in.
The promoter, Rodney Berman.
I'd have to look in
Africa
his.
promoter. A
Don't know a
manager,
lot about it.
Ted Broderick.
Can't speak to him off the top of my head,
Okay.
Jack.
The referee, Frank Cappuccino.
He'll get in. Big fights. Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah. The promoter, Salvatore Churchy.
Again, Jack, with promoters, I am not qualified to judge
You don't have to
promoters.
say, you just say not sure, on there, because
But I
feel
mean,
the same way a lot of
it's
them.
hard for me to judge what a Hall of Fame promoter is. To me, you have to know him. He had to promote big fights and be associated with big events. And it's like, how else do you grade him?
Not necessarily.
I don't mean Ali Frazier, Jack, but I mean,
no.
you know-
I'll give you an example. Russell Peltz didn't truly put on a lot of big fights worldwide, but he was great in his turf, keeping boxing alive, putting on a ton of entertaining
Jack,
shows.
but how many of them are there? You're right. I don't mean that someone like Russell didn't promote enough big fights, but Russell, through promoting, had a big influence
Yeah,
on the East
absolutely.
Coast,
And he belongs
especially
in the
on
Hall
the
of
East
Fame.
Coast.
That's why he's in the Hall of Fame, and that's
Right.
why, yeah, and he belongs there. He earned it.
So I consider him a big promoter,
Okay.
an influential one.
The manager, Louis D. Cuba Sr., Louis D. Cuba Sr., manager.
Can't call it, Jack.
Okay, he's from the Florida area there. The ring announcer you're familiar with, Ed Darian.
I mean, I think he gets in, and he should get in because he was in a lot of high-profile fights or on TV, whether it's a Spectrum or in Vegas.
Okay, the trainer, I guess he's a cutman too. I mean, why he put down his trainer, Miguel Diaz.
I mean, I know of him, Jack, but I can't speak to him a lot, so I don't know.
Okay, the manager, Cameron Duncan.
I mean, he's been involved with a lot of big fighters, so I'm going to say yes.
Okay, trainer, Nick Durant.
I don't know, Nick.
Judge, Dwayne Ford.
He'll get in.
Trainer slash cutman, very popular guy, but is he a Hall of Famer? Jimmy Glenn.
Borderline, but I think he has a good chance to get in eventually.
Okay, ringside position, Dr. Flip Hermansky.
I mean, everybody knows his name, Jack, so he's going to get in.
Well, they all can't get in though, Frank. You can only vote. up
Are
to
you talking
5.
this year? I think that some of them will get in at a later time.
Yeah,
But all the
okay.
names you said, everybody knows. Battle, Cappuccino, Homansky.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
okay, fair enough what you said. Okay, it makes sense. Trainer, Brendan Ingle.
He's a big deal in England. He's going to get in.
Oh, yeah, and I just want to, before going over the other names, you just hit the nail on the head. And it's the International Boxing Hall of Fame, not American. They might not be popular in America, but a guy
Right.
like Rodney Berman, a promoter in South Africa, if you promoted a lot of shows there, if he's the equivalent in South Africa with Russell Peltz was to Philadelphia, then
Then he'll
he
get in.
belongs in. Yeah. Okay, boxing judge, Tom Kazmarek.
Yes.
Okay, very nice man there, Manager, Samson Lukowitz. Manager, Sergio Martinez, a bunch of other guys.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I'm not sure with Sampson. Maybe I could live with him getting in. I'm not sure how I'd vote on him. Judge Dave Moretti.
He'll get in.
Okay. Administrator, Gilberto Mendoza Sr., WBA, and yeah, WBO.
Jack, what can I tell you? I know his name, I know of him, and I know some decisions he made, but I can't.
Okay.
I'm only comfortable voting on fighters.
You're not sure, Frank. Come on, let's cut the fat off the meat now and get to the meal. Referee, this is up your alley, man. Carlos Padilla.
I mean, he ref two of the biggest fights in history. He's going to get in. Manila and the first Leonard Duran fight.
Didn't he have some controversies? Something he said about Pacquiao that was out of line that could have disqualified him. That
he did say something, but I forget what it was.
Yeah, huh? Okay, referee Tony Perez.
He has such name recognition, but he was not a good referee.
Yeah, I'm not going to vote for him. You want to know why I'm not going to vote for him?
I wouldn't vote for him
because I'm going to tell you why. He did the worst single job of a fighter refereeing I ever saw. It was outrageous. I mean, it's one thing fights going on way too long. But it's another thing. He allowed Wepner to continuously rabbit punch Ali and didn't do a thing. It was inexcusable to me, unforgivable, something like that. It's just awful. I mean, everything could be forgivable to an extent. A lot of things could be forgivable.
He had a lot of bad nights, though.
I hate to use the word unforgivable. I take that back. That sounds cruel. But yeah, there were other things. I gave him a pass on Ray Mercer, Tommy Morrison, where some people felt he let it go on too long. Yeah, he could have stepped in a couple of punches earlier, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt. But even not hearing the bell for Ali Frazier, you know who 7 seconds.
No, he thought he heard the bell.
But could I tell you who he hurt the most? He didn't hurt Ali the most. He hurt Frazier the most. You want to know why? Because nothing was going to happen in that remaining 7 seconds. Frazier was not going to go down.
But Ali fans hold that against him because they thought he robbed them of the stoppage.
Right. People said,
it had no effect on the fight whatsoever.
No. But he hurt Frazier actually with that. But Perez did a good job reffing the Ellis Frazier first fight, and he did ref the first fight Ali Quarry. So he did some good work too. Okay, referee Jack Reese.
Well, Randy Gordon will kill me if I don't say yes, so I'll say yes.
Well, we love Randy, but but yeah, what do you think?
I mean, it's name recognition, but at least the referees, I can be a little bit more objective because I've seen their work.
Let me say something about Jack Reese. Can you imagine when Tyson Fury was on his back, the count got
if he counts him out?
No, not count him out. At the count of 5, Fury hadn't gotten up yet to move. At 4-5, he waves the fight over. Even if Fury gets up, everyone will say, "Oh, Wilder would have knocked him out. He knocked him. He wasn't moving." Blah blah blah. Think of the effect that would have had.
That was a good call. You're right. Spur of the moment. That took a lot of guts to let it go.
Right. But there wasn't going to be a rematch if Wilder if the fight was stopped.
If Fury's counted out, right.
And just think of how the heavyweight picture would have kind of unfolded. But it's, what if, of course. Okay, referee Judge Pat Russell.
Don't know enough of him, Jack.
Trainer Abel Sanchez.
He'll get in.
Okay, trainer Fritz Zudenik.
He's a German guy, right?
Yeah.
Don't know enough to speak to.
Trainer Kelly Swanson. Publicist Kelly Swanson. I'm sorry.
She'll definitely get in. What are you laughing at?
I don't want to. I got to tell you something. Oh man, I'm not good. I present Mayweather the Fighter of the Year award when I was BWA president. Okay, at the MGM Grand, it was star-studded. Frank, Mike Tyson sat next to me the whole night, right next to me. Tyson. I get up there, Mayweather gets up there, shakes my hand after me presenting him the fight of the year. It was the biggest moment of glory. It's on a Thursday night. 2 nights later, I pick up my press credential to see the Mayweather-Madonna fight. They had me in the next to last row of the boondocks, obstructed view. And
So she's not getting your vote?
Some people pointed to, a particular person. I'm not saying it was hard, don't get me wrong, but the situation wasn't corrected. Let's put it that way.
So does she get in?
If I think she's worthy, I'll vote for her, definitely.
Do you think she'll get in?
Good question. Very good question. She's antagonized a certain amount of media members who might not vote for her, who have a ballot. Okay, so that might work against her.
But how many people is she running against? How many people is she up against?
All these names I'm mentioning. They allow, I think, in this category, three of them to get in, if I'm not mistaken. 3 will be elected in this.
See, Jack, I think a lot of it with the non-fighters is name recognition.
Yeah.
Now we all know her, so.
And I might vote for her. I might vote for her. I'm gonna objectively look at it, and if I think she deserves it, I'll vote for her point blank. I mean, I'm not. I believe you do things on merit, and that's that.
You're not voting for her, I can tell.
No. I might. Let's put it this way: she hasn't been inducted into the New York State Hall of Fame when the New York State Hall of Fame had, a different board when I was there. When I was a nominating chairman. I'm not commenting on how they are now. I'm not making any comment on that at all. But I know we had, when I ran the meetings, the people making the decisions were myself, Henry Hascup, Don Majeski, Bobby Cassidy, Randy Gordon, etc. And a few others. And her name never came up, and she was from Buffalo, a New Yorker. So you never know. I mean,
Jack, let me ask you this. Don't you think a lot of it is still politics? Because what you just told me makes me think that there are politics involved.
No, but I would vote for her. I think she's worthy.
Not you personally. Not you personally, but I just think the whole establishment. That's why I withdrew from being from the Boxing Writers Association, because I felt it was political.
Did you? I think you quit while I was president.
Frank, I'm either you, Jack, cut the fat off the meat. Are you voting her in? We know he's not, Danny. He's not voting her in. We both know that.
Okay. Francisco Paco Valcarcel.
Jack, you can't even say the name, and you want me to tell you if I'm voting if they belong in or not? Come on, stop.
WBO guy. Yuli Wagner, trainer.
No, nothing about Yuli.
And this is Steve Weisfeld, boxing judge.
I'm not crazy about his work, but I know he's loved by everybody. He's the it guy, so he'll definitely get in.
Steve's a good judge.
I've had issues with some of his decisions that don't come to my head right now, but I've had issues with some of his decisions. But that doesn't mean he's not a good judge.
Okay, now the observer category. Eric Arment, journalist, record keeper.
I don't know him.
Ernesto Cherkis Bialo, journalist.
Don't know him.
Steve Bunsey, broadcaster / journalist.
All right, we all know he is, so he has a shot.
Yeah, he's a tremendous writer. He writes for the publication I write for.
I mean, he's a yes, no doubt.
More for them. Yeah. Bob Canobio, the CompuBox statistician.
Just for that, he shouldn't get in.
Don't say that. We like Lee Groves, and
I don't like Punchdown. I love Lee, and I'm sure Bob's a good guy too.
Okay, Tom Casino, photographer.
How do I rate a photographer, Jack? Come on. How do I rate a photographer? I'm lucky if I get 30% of what I want in the picture.
Victor Coda, columnist.
I don't know him.
Tom Cushman, journalist. That's Russell Peltz's guy.
I know.
Russell is.
But I can speak to him, Jack. I can speak to Tom Cushman because I read him too back in the day when he wrote for the Philly. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Tim Dahlberg, columnist.
I mean, I don't know him. He seems like a pretty good columnist. He's been around. I can't judge.
Percy Donna, photographer.
You're asking me a photographer. Jack, you're not a nice man putting me on the spot like this when you won't answer one question for me and you want me to judge people that I don't know. Danny and I know you're not voting for Kelly.
No,
we both know that.
There's a good chance I would vote for her. I have no hard feelings this time, and I can't say she did anything wrong to me. I just feel it's kind of strange that the president of the Boxing Writers Association of America can present the Fight of the Year award to Floyd Mayweather. This is the Academy Awards of Boxing at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And then 2 nights later, he's put in the boondocks next to last row, obstructed view. And I wound up watching the fight from the press room on the TV in Las Vegas. And there's more to the story. Richard Schaefer was very mad when he found out later. And Al Heyman's right-hand man, Sam Watson, was furious about it, what went on when I told him.
Jack, that is all and good.
But no, was she responsible for it? I can't say she was, but she was in charge of the credentialing and this and that, and in charge of moving people.
Jack, what if it got back to you and you found out that she doesn't like you? How would you vote then?
I got that feeling after that show at the MGM.
You listening, Danny? Are you listening? Are you listening, Danny? So now we know she doesn't like you. You're not voting for her, Jack. You're not.
No, I might vote for her. I got no.
Let me say it for you.
You know, that was in 2014 or so. Yeah.
Next, he'll give you the date, Danny. He'll give you the time and the date. She doesn't like you, Jack. That's okay. That's okay.
No, at this point, I'm independent. I mean, I could stay home and watch fights on TV, and I could report that way if I want.
Jack, I'll tell you why I'm a little slow on this too. I forget what fight it was, but she credentialed me on late notice, so I'm the complete opposite. Now, maybe she likes me because I'm a likable person, Jack. Other than when I'm on here an hour with you, I'm very likable.
Well, let's put it this way. If she gets in and I run into her, I'll say congratulations. I'm not going to just...
Jack, if she gets in, you can even say, hey, Kelly, I voted for you. She'll never know.
One guy said to me...
Unless she's watching this show, let's send her the tape, Danny.
Yeah, come on, guys.
I don't know Danny Fuller, Jack, but I like him.
Yeah.
How do you know Danny?
What?
How do you know Danny?
Well, no, Danny is he's kind of an unofficial co-host of the shows that we have. You know, he's always commenting, putting down Keith Angle and, so on.
I like Keith Angle. He at least likes my post, Danny. Jack never does.
I'm only joking. Let's see where we what name? I lost track. David Dinkins Jr., television producer. Let's go over these quick before.
He's a Showtime guy, right? He was a Showtime guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that about him, Jack. So I guess other people know that. So maybe he gets in.
Ross Fuhrer.
I don't know, Ross.
You're a journalist from Las Vegas. Gordon Hall, Showtime television producer.
I don't know him.
Hype ego, cartoonist, journalist.
I've heard a lot of things about him, and most of them I think are good. So I get a good feeling from the name. Am I right?
Yeah. Kevin Ioli, journalist.
Oh, he'll get in because he's all over and he covers everything.
Carlos Arusta, journalist.
I don't know him.
Glenn Leach, editor.
No, don't know him.
Eddie Muller, columnist.
Don't know him.
Bertie Pacheco, broadcaster.
Don't like him, but he'll get in.
Shirley Pavich, columnist.
Yes.
John Rawling, broadcaster.
Don't know enough to say.
Steve Springer, journalist.
He has a good shot.
Yeah, from Los Angeles, from LA.
Right. The journal, right.
Mark Taffet, television executive. He's involved with Dimitri Salid on the promotions right now.
I can't speak on TV executives, Jack.
And Alex Swallow, who's the broadcaster.
I enjoyed his commentary, so I hope he gets in.
Yeah, and the women.
And I thought he was a very good analyst too.
Yeah. Well, for ABC there. Yeah, very.
Yeah, he did a lot with Dan Dierdorf, I think. He called fights with Dan Dierdorf.
Yeah, I mean,
Jack, 4 minutes. Are you voting for? We already know the answer, Danny.
I am going to vote for her now that I'm looking at the names.
You see that?
She's got my vote because she's been around a long, long time, and she works really hard, and she has a very hard job credentialing everyone. I think they blew it the one night with me, but whatever. It happened, and so.
Jack, you're running for office and you have a good shot. You did a great job to recover. As much as Danny and I are browbeating you, that was a great recovery.
How come my name's not on the ballot here? I'm looking at.
How come my name's not on the ballot?
Well, your name is not. Come on, Frank. You can't compare your name to yourself to me. As far as credentials. I mean, to get
Jack,
on.
any of those observers more keenful or more insightful than me?
It's not voted who's the smartest. If it voted who was the smartest, you'd be on in already, Frank.
Okay, Jack. So it's voted on who you know, and if you have name recognition.
Who you know? I got to start working the phones.
Danny, you hear this now? A lot is coming out.
I'm going to cash in, Frank. It's about time I cash in on the some of the favors I'm owed by a number of these guys who decide who gets on the ballot.
Jack, you're lucky. There's only 2 minutes left, but you made an interesting point. It's not voted on what you know. So if it's not voted on insight and foresight, what good is it? What good is it? I got him, Danny.
It's voted on merit. It's voted on merit. You guys wouldn't accept my answer just because I said I didn't say I'm not going to vote for her because
we're not talking about Kelly now, Jack. We're talking about observers. Observers. You mean to tell me, look, we know your thing. You mean to tell me my name never came up one time for all these people as an observer? Come on.
Frank, it's not observing a fight. It's called the observer category.
Well, but we're observing boxing. Aren't we talking about boxing? And we're not talking about Dan Marino's release.
This is what it says for the observers. This is what they ask for: print and media journalists, okay, media executives and producers, publishers, writers, historians, record keepers, statisticians, photographers, artists, and screenwriters.
And I don't fit into any of those categories.
Did I say what the name John Shepard? He definitely belongs in because he's in charge of Box Rec. That's his thing. So John Shepard absolutely should get in. Because Box Rec is a great tool for all of us.
The only thing I'll criticize John Shepard on, did you ever see their rankings and ratings of fighters? Like pound for pound best and all-time great? I think they have Mayweather as the greatest of all time, and they have Carlos Monzon like fourth.
Is that Box Rec?
Box Rec.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that they would have that.
All right, Jack. Well, talk for a little bit. You can do that. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, we're about to go on the last minute, Frank.
We
We're gonna
got
be
time.
winding it up. Not really. I mean, we're down to the last minute. I'm setting the clock, and unfortunately, on this show, we can't call a timeout. You know, it's not the NFL here. We're not giving any timeouts.
You have to sign in. All right, Jack, you got lucky tonight, but I'll find it for next week's show.
Okay, good stuff, Frank. Had a lot of fun for most of the show.
Danny, I don't know who you are, but I like you, and we both know. Let's send this to Kelly.
As Teddy Atlas would say, when he came to a banquet, it's good seeing some of you. Okay, so good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.